Hi everyone, we are back again with our next online meetup to discuss about the context in Golang. And the session will be taken by the Sundara Senthil, who has a rich experience in software engineering, product development, project delivery, and consulting. He also has a rich expertise in envisioning and building the cloud native solutions, microservices, and distributed systems. Currently, he's a senior applications developer at the Charter Communications and is based in North Carolina, USA. We welcome you here, Sundara, for taking on this session, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to listen to your talk. Over to you.
Okay. Thanks, Rashmi. Hi to all. So let us start the session. So today we'll talk about Go context, and in between, if you guys have any queries, stop me and go for that. Okay. So what are the things we are going to see in today's session is what is the history about this context, why this context is needed, and context rules and API, and some sample coding, and also some live coding. I will written small coding. We can try out that. Okay, the history, the context as a library existing in as a normal library. It was way existing from Google from 2014, but it was in that golang.x.net context, like that package. But from Go 1.17, the standard library, it has a context named context, and it is as part of the Go standard library. So why we need a context? There was a good article or a blog written by Samir and published in 2014. Please go through that. I have taken some of things from there also for this session, but you can go through line by line in that. If you heard about HTTP request and how Go is handling is whenever the web server, whenever a request comes to that web server, it spawns a Go routine, and that Go routine will do some connecting to the other function calls or connecting to the database or whatever it is taking care. So while in this process, each time a Go routine starts, we don't know when to stop or when to do that. As such, as a contact, initially it considered as a how that request is propagated, and when that request is stopped, or automatically the request need to be stopped, like that. For example, I am a provider and you request me to provide take an example, like you request me to provide a shirt. Okay, so I am a provider. I go look for a cloth and then go for the buttons and stitching threads, everything. I will go and buy each one of them, stitch the shirt and give it back to you. But in between, if you say, hey, I don't need shirt now, I have to stop the process. And how do I stop it? And that is where this context is. Or I am a provider and there is some person who distributes me the cloth. I have to inform him. When you say no, I have to inform him saying that, hey, stop there. I don't need clothes now. Okay, so this is the simple example for this context. So the main thing of the context, the two major thing is, one is that cancellation and propagation. How this information is cancelled and how it is got propagated to down the tree. Okay, and the other one is the value. How do you pass a value inside the context, and what type of value we need to pass? So keeping this is the main major concept of this context. Okay, these two major, cancel and propagation, and the how do you pass the value. So there comes this, whenever you return a web server, you return a server and there is a client, and when a client says a request, hey, give me a shirt or prepare me a shirt, that request comes to the server, and server goes and does the all other work. But in between, the client can say stop. So how we are going to stop it, and how we are taking care of the other things, are the thread internal towards that shared request are going to get cancelled. Okay, so the problem statement which the context is trying to address is that the incoming request is handled, like I said, it is all Go routines. So internally, you don't need to do like you just for a web server in Go, you do HTTP listen and serve. And once you say listen and serve in this port, your web server is started. And if you have a routers in that, and each time that router is got some request from the client, it spawns a Go routine. So that is what it is addressing, and the request handler. So if you read this, it tells that how do you handle it and how do you pass the value to all the Go routines, so that the data inside that Go request is, or the value what you're passing is identical to all the Go routines. Okay, so the solution, whatever the request scoped values, cancellation signal, deadline across the API boundary. So the request scope values in the sense like what is the request, and that request value is propagated to all other child request, all those child Go routines which you start internally like that. Let me know, is it okay, or you guys are following? Any questions you have? Rashmi, anything? Can I proceed?
Yeah, we are good. Yeah, we are good.
Okay.
Yes.
So context as such here defined as an interface. Okay, so interface means it has have a list of methods which the person should handle it. Correct. So the first interface they have defined is the done. So the context which is created will and if the context has been passed to the child will receive this done, and you have to handle that done. If it is done is called, that means the parent is closing, so you also try to close yourself like that. And any error indication why this it is closing, or you can any error if you want to specifically add, you can add it from the parent to tell the child that we are closing for this reason, and that error can be posted there. And deadline, the deadline is something like a time bound thing. Like if you say run this or do this work for 3 days or 3 hours a day, after third hour stop stop it. So you create a deadline using the time, and the process will continue until that time period, and after that it will say we have reached that thing, and it will stop. And the last one is the value. So the first three, the done, error, deadline, or it's like a cancellation and propagation pointing to it. And the last one is the value. What type of value you are going to pass on it. So you can ask a question like, what is the value I have to put it in the context? And if this context is passed to all other clients or all other functions I am going to call, then can I put other arguments as a parameter which I'm passing? Can I put it all inside? No, you should not do that. Whatever you have to do, the normal scenario, you will pass it as an argument still. In context, you will do something like a request ID, which is not going to change forever, correct? Or database connectivity, you can put it into this and send it across, so that the database connection is done at the very beginning time. Not every time you go internal, you do it. You use the same database connectivity and um, try to connect to the database or logging. The other one is the logging, like you can log particular log, and that log handle can be passed in this value like that, instead of passing as a parameter. So the same, like the previous, whatever I explained it, it has some more details along with this done context, error method, deadline, and the value. So please continue reading that. That will help you in that. And these are the other datas which you should be okay. So here, the context should be the first parameter, the rules. One of the first rule is context has to be the first parameter and other arguments follows the thing. Uh, so you can't store a context inside a structure, but you can pass a structure of connections or like database logs internal to your business things which you want to maintain and keep it one time and use it forever the program runs. You can put it inside the context with a structure in it, and you can't pass a nil context. So these are the rules. Please, I don't want to spend time on that. You can read them. So here is a simple sample code which says, okay, is some handler, and in you're creating a context with a cancel, and you are doing the stuff. It is a go routine which gets the context. See, the context is passed between the go routines, and you do something, and when a condition occurs, when a time expires or whatever, and you do a cancel means you are saying I'm stopping here, that is the parent. Okay, some handler is here is a parent and do stuff is a client. The moment you do cancel, you call the cancel, the child will receive in the select case. Done is a channel. Remember, done is a channel. If you want to go back, see, done is a channel structure. Okay, so the channel will receive immediately. The channel will receive it, and you have to process that channel as a client. Client, you will process it, and you will say stop work, and you return back. Okay, but from child you can't stop the parent cancellation. You can't cancel the context of a parent. Okay, it is only top to bottom, which we will see in going further. And this is error. Like I said, you can pass some error, and you can find the deadline, and you can set some errors on that. We will see more examples. I have exact, and here is how the value passed to the context with value, and set the key. It's a key value pair concept. The value you can store it in the context, and you can send it across the child, and few notes on that values you can use it. So this is what I was saying about when you create at the very beginning, what you do, you create with a called as a background. So this interface has some four methods which we will see. The four method is one of that is the background. The background is a very initial. You are going to create a context on what being you will create. You will create with this background. So background is the very initial when you try to create a context, and using that context you will create with timeout, with deadline, all this other thing. So with this background, you will have with value, with cancel, and with deadline. And the way you initially telling, when the context you try to cancel, the cancel will propagate it to the bottom to the child until all the childs are getting closed. So that is what it is explained here. So like I said, these are the other that interface, the context interface got, these are the methods. First is typically the background, whichever you want to do. Then you have a to-do context. When you don't know what purpose it is, you can placeholder kind of thing you can create. And as an thing, never send a nil context in a context, can't be a nil in this. And return a copy of a parent done channel with a cancel, and with the deadline you create a time and a time. Okay, what is the timeout and what is the deadline? You have two methods, with timeout and with the deadline. With timeout is the thing, you set a timeout and say, hey, it has to stop. And the deadline is little advanced version, but it's the same. You can set the deadline for like 3 days, 4 days, like that. So that is the same. And finally the value. So these are the ways you will use that context to be created and used. Okay, I will go to an example. Hope you guys are able to see this example. Rashmi, if you want, let me know to increase the font size.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. So here I am creating a main, and here, see, this is without the context. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I created a hello method in the main and passing time as a after 5 seconds print me the hello message. So hello is the function. If you see here, time has a channel. Okay, time dot after will return a channel. Channel, and you can handle the channel like this in a select statement. So what will happen is when this method is called, it will wait for 5 seconds, and after the moment time dot after reaches that 5 seconds, the time you start, and after that 5 seconds, this channel, this case will get execute and it will print the message. So go run. So it is waiting for 5 seconds, and after the 5 seconds, you got that hello printed. Okay, so now let us go with the how the context is passed and how it is. This is nothing to do with any we are not using any HTTP handler or anything. We will go to that example later. So this is a simple way, and here I'm creating a context. So like I said before, when you want to create a context, you need to first go with the context background. And here I'm creating a context with a timeout for how much for the context which with the background. So that is the context here, and time dot second is for a second. This context has to be wait, and then it has to close by itself. That is the meaning here with timeout. Okay, so and I am passing for that hello the same context. Since context and in time, I'm still have that hello after 5 second timer print the hello message like that. Okay, so the timer after has a channel, so I handled that in the first case. In the second case, the context, the done channel. Okay, done has a channel. Okay, so the moment here the parent closes, says, hey, we are done with it, this context will be this done will be captured and prints the error message. So so now here you see defer cancel, I'm saying. So defer in the sense when this program, when this function, the main function exists only, that time the defer is called. Hope you also know that. So until then the defer won't be getting called. So now I use go run main.go. So if you see now, the context deadline existed because we have set the context to 1 second only. It is not 5 seconds, correct? So the moment you set it 1 second, the 1 second timer passed out, then the 5 seconds timer. So this is first handled. So the cancel is called, the main is exiting. When the main is exiting, it is tried to send that information, that signal to the child, which is hello. Context.done is captured, and it is printing that error saying that the deadline exceeded. Okay, now if I try to, I create the context. I'm not using defer here. So I'm
Actually, we can't see the screen right now. Sorry to disturb you, but there is a white screen which has T written to it.
uh, 1 second. Now, are you able to see?
Now the two alphabets like T and H are written to it.
Mm, okay. Can I stop the share and try to share it again?
Yes, yes.
Oh, the I think you didn't see the full coding. Now, are you able to see?
Yeah, now we can see that.
Okay. The first from the coding you are not able to see?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm repeating here, sorry. So here is the function. So here I'm starting the main. Remember, like I'm not creating any context here. I just want to make sure the my logic works. My logic here is after 5 seconds, I want to print a hello. Okay. And I created a hello method. And for that hello method, I'm passing that 5 seconds duration and the string what need to be print. Okay, time has a channel, so the moment it this time dot after will return a closing channel or a channel which says that after it reached, like for example I have said here 5 seconds. So the time I start to run this program, it will take 5 minutes 5 seconds. The after those 5 seconds is reached, this time after will return a return in this channel saying that the time has reached, and this case is handled, and this case will print that message. Rashmi, you are good to see, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry. Okay. So now it is wait for 5 seconds, and after that it will print hello. So now you see hello is printed. Okay. So now let us go creating a simple context. Okay, so here I'm creating a context. Like I said, when you want to create your own context, you will start with context with background. Okay, so that initialize the context, and context dot cancel. I'm creating passing the same context, and I'm creating a timeout context here for 1 second. Okay, um, okay, and after this 1 second, I'm saying defer that cancel. You need to always use the defer to cancel, call the cancel method, so that the cancel is handled properly. I will tell you how it is done in the bottom. So when this cancel is called, as I said, the child, all the childs associated with this context will receive a done channel true. Let us assume it's a true, like, but the channel, the done channel has been communicated to all other childs, and they will handle it and they will close themselves. That is the idea. So here with the hello, I'm passing that context, and with the time duration of still 5 seconds, and the string hello. So like I said, timer, after timer, I am saying for the 5 second, handle it, whichever comes first here, correct? So in this case, the done will be, this cancel will be the first because it is 1 second timer. So that will be first call. So here the case context dot done, when it is context dot done, the context error is printed and the child gets closed, and after that the main will get closed. So if we run this code,
I think we have less than a minute left, so I'll create a different link and then we can continue the same session.
um,
I'm
okay,
sorry to, yeah, this, I mean, I'll share one more link with you.
okay, okay.